have a little fun before I die. There's a man next to me, out of nowhere.
Playing it down. Oh, the big man rising to the occasion, and the big-time thunderous throwdown.
This is an Open Championship Week edition of Dirt and Spray.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
On 1080 The Fan.
Yeah, there was the NBA TV call, the Clinger, with a nice little dunk over the Philadelphia 76ers. Some big defensive plays at the end, including creating a 5-second call to give the Blazers the ball back and win the game.
Pretty good body to have guarding an inbounds pass.
7'2".
Not a bad idea.
He is not shooting very well from Summer League so far 2 games in. He finished with just 8 points. We knew he was not going to be tremendous offensively, but what you want to see is the defense, the rebounding. Yesterday, and I thought Heiken actually put a good point in the Rose Garden report on it. I don't even think the box score really does it justice. 8, 11, and 3. It felt like his impact went a lot further than just the numbers suggest as well.
He's going to be one of those bigs where he's so tall and lengthy defensively that he's going to have a lot of things that don't show up in the box score because it's just not easy to score around a guy like that. And there's a lot of centers in the NBA that fall into that category. But I agree completely watching some of that game. I didn't watch all of it last night, but flipping back and forth, watching a little bit on the iPad. There seem to be stretches where he can dominate on that end of the floor, and you're not getting blocks and rebounds on every possession, but you're immediately telling is that you just turn the game on. You can see his impact on that end of the floor. The offensive stuff, dude, I don't really care about it. I don't. It's Summer League. He's playing with a bunch of nobodies that likely aren't going to be long-term NBA players.
Yeah.
He's not getting set up with any offensive looks. He did dial back.
He doesn't have a real point guard.
Doesn't have a real point guard. Like, just whatever. Like, his offensive game will take time to develop, and we knew this is a bad draft, and he's a development piece on that end of the floor. I'm not going to lose any sleep over him going 4 of 11, only scoring 8 points. He's playing really good defense. He shows the size. I think athletically he can improve a little bit in terms of quickness, but through 2 games, I have 0 complaints about Donovan Clingan.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is like Stephon Castle's been raved about at the Summer League. He had, I think, 22 points against Portland. I think before that he had 20-some points. What people aren't talking about with some of these players, and some of these players are playing better than people thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, draft class so far doesn't seem as awful as we made it out to be. Reed Shepherd is lighting it up. Castle had 22 points on 21 shot attempts. Like, efficiencies haven't been there for a lot of these guys.
No.
Klinger was not drafted to be your offensive juggernaut. Shaden should be that this year. If you get past the vets, you're hoping next year's guy that you pick is kind of this, right? Scoot, hopefully, is in the 16 to 20 point per game category. You want Clingan banging down low, getting rebounds, and dictating and blocking shots or alternating looks and making things uncomfortable. Here was Donovan Clingan in the postgame. He was not very kind to himself after his first game, very disappointed with his performance. Here he was on his second game.
I feel like I protected the rim, at a high level. A couple less illegal screens today. I know I had one, and as soon as I set the screen, I knew it was illegal. But I feel like fouls. I had a couple less fouls today. Great reads on the offensive end. I feel like I had a couple good passes that, to my open teammates cut into the basket. And I was just trying to be the best defender and help my team win.
I don't think we pretend that we think Summer League is all of that important here. It's July, and it's our team in the Summer League, right? So we're just seeing what we see.
Quintel Woods was the MVP. We all know what this is.
Right. The one thing about yesterday I thought was great is one thing that I really liked about him going into the draft and what I was happy about with they drafting him is where he came from. He came from the most NBA-ready program in college basketball, played in a system that, at least one NBA team kind of wanted in the LA Lakers, and it's smart, team-oriented basketball. He was moving the ball. He was making good reads, good passes. He had a moment at the end of the first half. I don't know if you saw this, but he got the ball. It's about 3 seconds left. He was around the free throw line. He did like a little spin move, and I'm like, shoot it, shoot it. And he kicked it out, wide open Chris Murray, shot it. He missed it, and immediately ran up to Chris Murray, dapped him up like, yo, shoot that again. Like, that was a great look. It was a great pass. It was a good read. And so he may not score a whole lot. He may be a guy who scores 12 to 14 points, maybe less a game. But go get the rebounds, be a good passer, a good teammate, a leader, and a stalwart on defense, and I'm happy as a clam with it.
Yeah, it's funny that we get so caught up in worrying about culture and what's it going to look like on a 20-win team, and what if you lose the veterans. Like, having guys like Donovan Clingan help a ton in that category. He's a guy who knows how to win, who's been around the right cultures, and so he's going to help you exponentially in that category. But I loved his post-game comments for two reasons. One, he was number 2 on the team in assists last night. There was a random bro off the bench who had 8. He had 5, as second most on the team. And to your point, could have been even more if guys are knocking down open shots and the team's better around him. And the other one is when you're going to be a defensive big, how are you smart? Like, are you just like Nurkic used to do this all the time, where he would just stumble into 4 fouls in the first half, and you're like, dude, what? That's an easy layup. Just give up the bucket and go back on the other end. Like, don't commit a stupid foul. And he had 5 in his first game in 26, 27 minutes, whatever he played. A couple of them were on illegal screens. And he was very conscientious about that, already going into game 2 of, like, be smart. Don't get into foul trouble, even though it's summer league, even though none of this matters, to kind of wind that down to 3 and only have 1, I believe, offensive foul call. That was already signs of a guy who's smart and understanding, okay, I need to get better in this category, and he did from game 1 to game 2.
The fact that the first things that he never mentioned his scoring, his offense, or anything. He understands his role. He will continue to work on all of those things because he knows once he gets in there with some veteran guys, if Shaden can do what he's supposed to do, if Jeremy Grant is still on the team when they start, that sort of things, he's not going to get double teams. He's going to have looks. He's got to knock down 17, 18 footers because they're going to back off of him. So he'll continue to work on that. But the fact that he understands, no, my job here is to facilitate, keep the ball moving, get guys open, go retrieve balls, and to stay on the floor for as long as he can. It's quite refreshing.
Well, think about the benefit he's going to have, too, when he plays with real live NBA guys, when he's setting monster screens and rolling. Like, he had 2 or 3 plays last night. I counted them where I'm like,
throw it to him, throw it to him, throw it to him, throw it to him.
Nope, no lob, no lob. And I get it. None of this is really that important to most people. I totally understand it. I don't blame you if you didn't really watch much of it. It's summer league basketball. It's not great basketball, but you know, you say none of this matters to a certain extent. Like, it's got to feel good for him to go back to a hotel and go, I can play in this league. Like, I can. If I'm doing it against these dudes, I'm going to take some confidence back. Training camp. We'll start the regular season. He's going to back up Ayton unless they surprisingly trade Ayton in the offseason, which I wouldn't be opposed to because I'd love to see this dude. And he's playing more than 20 minutes. Like, he's getting. I thought they played him a little less than I thought they would in the first half, but he's largely being pushed minutes-wise a little more than he was in college. So I've been happy with what I've seen. Not a perfect product offensively.
No.
But showing you exactly what you want, and not that message board stuff needs to be the dictator of these things. It ain't like the Wizards fans on Reddit are very happy with what Alex Sarr has been.
I love the overreaction.
And they would have, well, yeah, I know it's an overreaction for sure, but we at least feel good about him defensively.
We do. And I feel like we can all, I don't know what his ceiling will be as an offensive player.
But he can shoot the 3 eventually, Dirk.
He's got good hands. He's got good eyes.
Well,
he's a good passer.
Like
all of that stuff. And then you're going to add a couple of easy buckets a game just playing with NBA players.
Yes.
Yeah, that. If you get Scoot or Shaden in a pick and roll and they double there, then, just go to the rim. Plus, if he can go be an offensive rebounder, you're going to get 4 or 5 points with putback dunks.
Did you guys see Jaylen Brown courtside with Angel Reese and his girlfriend who is on the Indiana Fever?
Yep.
They caught him on camera, and I think they nailed it because the quote is to them, he says, watching Boston, L.A., I don't think Bronny is a pro. And then his girlfriend says he's probably in the G League for sure. And then he basically says something to the effect of, "Oh no,
he's going
to be on that roster." Jaylen Brown has responded to this. He quote tweeted the video, and he said, "It's a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA. It reflects greatness and longevity. Bronny has all the tools around him to be successful. I look forward to watching his growth." Not denying that that's exactly what he said because it's impossible to say that he said anything else. I just thought it was funny he got caught, and he's just like, yeah, but he hasn't been shooting the ball well at all. He's 0 for 13, I think, from 3 in the summer league.
Yeesh.
But he's right. It is a flex to have the kind of power where you're like, yeah, I want my kid on the team.
Yeah, I laugh at the controversy over all of this stuff. Turn on a Blazers summer league game, and how many of those guys aren't NBA players? I know a lot of them don't have guaranteed contracts, and they weren't taken in the second round, and so that's what changes it a little bit. But the ironic part of all this is it was innocently the NBC Boston camera that was just taking a video to tweet out of, hey, look, Jaylen Brown's here.
Yeah.
It wasn't even meant as, oh, my God, he's mouthing and talking about Bronny. They just took a random clip of him. Look at this. He's here sitting with his girlfriend and Angel Reese, tweeted it out, and everybody's like, wait. Then you read his lips and you can hear what he's saying.
The internet snitched on
see
him.
what he's saying,
Yeah.
and they just caught him. It was an innocent tweet that got him into trouble.
I don't think he's going to play much. I think LeBron's going to try to get something in the first game, a moment so you can capture it on camera. That dude's going to be at the end of the bench, never playing.
Yes.